And on the subject of Christmas, let's think about how the British royal family spends Christmas. They don't spend Christmas quite like the rest of us. They always go to Sandringham, and apparently there are some odd things that happen. For example, they tend to give each other... there are very strict rules. King Charles has banned certain foods and he has these unusual traditions. They set up a trestle table and they exchange gifts, but they have to be very cheap, silly, jokey gifts.
Very good, John.
Yeah, well, Princess Anne gave the then Prince Charles a padded toilet seat so that he would have a
leather, apparently.
It's so witty,
very
isn't
strange.
It? So witty,
Yeah.
so incredibly witty. And the lower members in the pecking order, they get their gifts last, and William is said to be unhappy about this. And the people in the lower in the pecking order have to sleep in the servants' room.
Servants' quarters. Oh, no, we don't want that. Isn't this fascinating, though?
Where do the servants sleep?
Well, probably still 5-star compared to other people.
The servants get the tent in the backyard.
But isn't it fascinating seeing how they do Christmas, because they are so bound by tradition? But what I thought was interesting about this story is that Charles has got more of a cosmetic, I guess, changes to Christmas. No foie gras, thank you, because he's obviously very concerned about the environment and animal rights and things, and I fully support that because I think it's a disgusting practice and a disgusting product. But William, I think, more has got this generational reckoning happening, hasn't he? He sort of doesn't want the joke gifts, you know, he doesn't want the lower members or more junior or younger members of the royal family sleeping in the servants' quarters, which are probably still pretty, you know,
I think they're
pretty nice.
okay.
I think they're probably still okay. I'm sure we'd be comfortable there. But I think what we're seeing is that Charles will keep sort of treading water to an extent. I mean, he's a man who's battling cancer, whereas I think William is going to slowly usher through a lot of changes, and Christmas will be very different when he is king.
It's true that the royal family has, for all its pomp and ceremony, has always, when you sort of peel back the surface, has always had not just reputation, but have really been really baudy, really kind of juvenile, you know, good times,
all those pranks,
you know, laughs, larks.
Well,
you know, I mean, if you look at, like, you know, what do you get? Prince Harry, you know, when he was fun, you know, posing nude,
when was that?
posing
That was
nude
many
behind
years ago.
a pool.
Well, can I give you the running joke that they could use at their Christmas party this year? Every so often someone could say, has anyone seen Andrew? Now, that would get a laugh, wouldn't it?
Like, I spy.
Yes, because Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, a man that no one really wants to spend Christmas with anymore, looks like having his turkey and his Christmas pudding entirely on his own, I would think.
Pizza Express for one, maybe, let's say.
I think for Andrew, it's Sandringham.
Yes. I see what you did there, Joe. Very good.
That was a pun that may need a footnote, but that's all right.
I'm going to work on that. Come back very soon.
Now, we have been for a long time totally dependent on our plastic money, on our cards. And we're now been told that laws are being passed, which means that the major retailers, major businesses, the big ones, will have to accept cash. If we rock up with cash, they have to accept it. They can't say, no, we only take cards. It applies to the big supermarkets, the service stations. They'll have to accept cash under this massive money change, which comes in January of next year. The smaller companies, those which have got a smaller turnover, they can still say, no, we don't take cash, it's cards only. Return to cash, you fond of cash?
Absolutely. I'm quite old school. Cash is king in my book. That's why my dad brought me up. You pay cash if you can, love, and don't put it on the credit card. And I think it's also good because if you don't have stable banking access, you still want to be able to get some cash and go to the servo and get some fuel or go and get some groceries. So I think I'm all for it. I think it's great to actually have more cash back in the system, but protecting small businesses, of course, who still want to use the EFTPOS machine.
And for whom it's yet another burden to handle the money go to the bank and all that sort of thing. You a cash is king man?
Yeah, look, I'm of the generation where, you know, where you'd go to the sausage sizzle or whatever and they would only take cash. And so you had to have one just in case you needed a snag. And now, of course, even that is changing. And even though, because every phone's got like a tap and go app. And so now suddenly cash is, ironically enough, no longer almost legal tender because some places don't have to actually accept it.
I've seen buskers now who've got the little thing. So I
saw a beggar, a homeless person who actually had a sort of tap and go thing. And I actually thought, you know what?
Wow.
That's very entrepreneurial.
That is.
This guy should go into business.
Can I remind you that Rowan Dean, the host of Outsiders and The World According to Rowan Dean, and my editor at The Spectator Australia, very strongly believes in cash. He says if everything is on cards and everything is in computers, it gives them too much power over us.
And how do you budget as well? I mean, for teaching young kids how to budget, you want them actually to see some dollars.
Even with bringing cash back, though, basically they would still know absolutely everything about you except who your cleaners are and how much you give to buskers.
Yes.